Like in previous videos in this chapter, we're staying in the interface.dwg file. We're going to take a deeper dive into dynamic input in AutoCAD. It's known as DYNMODE, D-Y-N-M-O-D-E, and it's on by default in later versions of AutoCAD. How do you know if dynamic input is on by default in AutoCAD? It's very simple. If you run a command and the prompts appear near the cursor, the crosshair, you know that dynamic input is switched on. So if I go up here to the Draw panel on the Home tab and click on the Line command, come into the drawing area, can you see it's prompting me to specify the first point? So you can see it's next to the crosshair. That means that dynamic input or DYNMODE is on. Notice as well though, the Line command has appeared on the command line at the bottom of the screen. So you can see you've got the specify first point prompt for the Line command both on the crosshair and on the command line. It's always worth checking the difference between the two because sometimes the command line might give you more information than the dynamic input on the crosshair might. So just check that out. It's always worth that quick sanity check. But you can see there, if I move around now, click once in that space there, drag the mouse a little bit, click again, press enter on the keyboard, I've drawn a line. So you can see there that I've drawn a line and the dynamic input has prompted me to do that. Now, if you go down to the status bar, bottom right, you'll see there's three little lines right in the bottom right corner. If you hover over that, it'll say customization. Click on it and a big long menu appears. Now you'll notice that there's various options ticked on that menu. Those are various drafting settings that are set up in AutoCAD. Some are displayed on the status bar bottom right. If you go near the top quarter, there's dynamic input or DYNMODE. You'll notice it is not ticked. It's on, but it's not ticked. Click on it and a little tick will appear. Come down to the three little lines again, the customization. Click on that again to close that menu. So now you've switched on dynamic input on the status bar. It's this icon here with the little plus sign on it. That little plus sign indicates the cursor and dynamic input is on at the moment, hence the icon is blue. There's the variable name, DYNMODE, the system variable DYNMODE, and it's letting you know that dynamic input is on. If I right click over that icon, I get dynamic input settings. Click on that and that will open up the drafting settings dialog box. Notice we are in the dynamic input tab. I can change my dynamic input settings in there if I want to. Now I can safely say since dynamic input became available in AutoCAD, I have never ever changed these settings. I've never felt the need to. However, if you feel that you want to investigate them, please do. I'm not going to. I'm just going to click on cancel like so. But basically I can switch dynamic input on or off. So if I click on it now, can you see it's gone grey and it's off? So if I now go to the Line command again, notice there's nothing on the crosshair. The prompt is now on the command line. So if I click once, drag the mouse, click again, press enter, all of that functionality is now on the command line. If I switch dynamic input on again, down here on the status bar, make it blue again, and then go to the Line command again, can you see now it's coming up on the cursor? That's what dynamic input's all about. It puts the prompt on the cursor. So it's a bit like watching a foreign movie. You spend more time reading the subtitles down on the command line than you do looking at the crosshair when you're designing on the screen. So that's why Autodesk have put the dynamic input on the crosshair. So there's another line there, press enter to finish. Now what you can do there is you can select each of these lines by just putting the crosshair over them. See the little square on the crosshair? Just make sure that that's there like so over each line, and they go a blue color with the little blue grips displayed. You can now get rid of all of those by right clicking and selecting erase on the shortcut menu. There we go, they're gone now. So your dynamic input is now on, and it's on the status bar, and you can now utilize that dynamic input when you're drafting and modeling in AutoCAD.